of warm to death. So what we're going to try with this video is I thought we would try a premiere. So I'm just going to premiere the video at a certain time, not sure yet. And we'll have a chat over on the side there at that particular time. I don't think I can do two things at once. Put this on and talk. So I'll put this on and then I'll talk. How's that? Okay, I'm going to go straight up this way and go find a place to do the video that isn't so noisy and carry on while you guys go ahead and chat. I'll probably be there as well. And if you don't see the premiere thing, it means it probably didn't work or you missed it. I'm not sure I can even do it. I know how to do it, it's just whether I can, if I qualify or not. I don't know what their qualifiers are for it. I couldn't find any. All right, we're almost there. I think we can do a video over here out of the wind. Finally, as I've said so many times before, I try to sort of be an optimist versus a pessimist, but that's difficult in this time and age. But a little optimism is duly noted at this time. U.S. District Court, Dakota Access Pipeline to be shut down and emptied of oil. This must be done by August 5th, 2020. Win for the Standing Rock Sioux. All right, finally, out of all the years they've been fighting and fighting and fighting and not gaining anything, they finally gained something. No oil on their land. That should have been a given before they even built the damn thing. But that's not all. There are two other pipelines that are being axed at the same time. The NOACP and the NODAPI, along with the XL. These are all being axed at this time. You notice in the court decision there's no talk about disassembling the pipes and returning the land to its original condition. Now, that's because this isn't for sure a for sure thing, especially if to get in another 4 years. Well, what can I say? So at this time I want to show you what I ran into yesterday. This guy was just sitting there on this sign, so I quickly took out my video camera before he decided to leave. And birds look much better alive than they do dead. Wouldn't you agree? So the good news about the pipeline is maybe a bit less fossil fuel to be burned. June temperature records are tied with 2019. Both years saw June 21 at 37 degrees C or 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit at the Arctic Circle. Let's look at the map here. On that same day, just down the way a bit, on a 38 degrees C or 100 degree Fahrenheit reading was taken on that same day, not too far away. In the Arctic Circle, guys. Got to get rid of this fossil fuel. So you would think with all the COVID, less driving and less business going on, less pumping of CO2 in the atmosphere, that we'd see a dramatic lowering of the CO2. Just the opposite, guys. July 6, 2019, 413.25 parts per million. July 6, 2020, year later, 415.22 parts per million. That's quite an increase, huh? Though I suspect that if we hadn't had the COVID, it'd probably be up 2 or 3 points higher than that it is now. We delayed it some, but not by much. While we're headed to our next destination, why don't we go over and check out El Nino, La Nina. Right now we're in La Nina, the cooler time, when the oceans cool down finally, and we all get a break from the severe heat. There are some signs that this La Nina might be ending, and then we don't know where we'll be going. We could go up and then stall out and go back into another La Nina, which just happened. I could go through all those because it would keep us a lot cooler and the fire season down. But unfortunately, even with La Nina, we're seeing a tremendous fire season this year. The Amazon is burning like never before. And so is the Arctic Circle. More fires this year than ever before, especially over Russia. Up there in Siberia, in the Arctic Circle, they're having one of their worst fire seasons ever. It wasn't too long ago there were no fires in the Arctic Circle. Now, it's a seasonal thing. I wonder how long before it'll be an everyday thing, because the entire planet will turn into a very tropical place like it was during the days of the dinosaurs. And then once we get through that phase, I have no idea where we'll end up after that. You know, it took me years and years of my life to try and get a small environmental footprint. You know, we did the usual, the garbage, the recycling, buying in bulk, trying to use non-plastic bags to bring the fruit and vegetables home in, becoming a vegetarian, and then moving close to where I lived and use public transportation. But it wasn't like overnight. It took quite a while to do that. In fact, it took probably about 20 years to get that accomplished. So you have to do it in bits and pieces, and if you just can't stop driving at this time because of your job or whatever, because we are a driving culture, it's set up that way, you may want to try a different approach on how you heat your home, how big your home is. If you heat with wood, you're really polluting the air with a lot of toxic pollution, you know, every hour, just to get some heat that goes into your house and then evaporates out into space. What a waste. Turning lovely trees into soot and ash and toxic smoke is what's going on. You know, because that's what really happens. Using gas, on the other hand, is fossil fuel, oil drilling, so on and so forth. But if you happen to live in a southern facing building towards the southern half of the US or whatever country you live in, so that the sun can heat up your place most of the time and you won't need any fossil fuel to heat you up. But I have to honestly think the cleanest way to heat your home right now is with electricity. Because if you make electricity with hydro and then you use that power to heat up an electric heater, which heats up your place, and it's well insulated, and you have double pane windows and so on and so forth, and you practice shutting off your lights and using fluorescents. And I mean, there's so many ways you can do this without having to give up meat or your car, though those are really big, huge parts of the footprint that you make. And if you can get rid of most or all of those, you're really reducing your footprint by a huge amount. Because furnaces are sold on efficiency, whether it's gas or electric. So they've already done their homework. Now we have to do it by well insulating our places, making sure that we have a south-facing living area with huge windows that can, you know, heat up the place. And then looks like the pinks are back in season. Shall we have a glance at the things? It's been a year since we've seen them. Back still hurts, makes it a little difficult to get up these steep areas. But I'm working for the pink, and I push through the pain, macho, all that nonsense. And I hear children coming. But after you've done all that, then you plant trees in front, trees that lose their leaves during the winter, and that will let the sun come in the winter and heat your place up, and in the summer the leaves will block the sun and keep you cool. See, it's auto air conditioning without a single bill to it other than the original purchase of the trees. So there's so many different ways that we can do this. As I'm doing my video, my camera's sinking down. I do believe the tripod is about habit as well. It's about time I'm going to have to buy a new camera and tripod. And there's more people there. Boy, lots of people out there. I think I say that every video, don't I? Oh. So much going on in world news. We'll do a little bit of that. It looks like Barcelona has come down with COVID-19. Another right-winger getting the COVID. A lot of people are saying that we just need to get used to COVID-19, but there is no getting used to it. People don't understand this. You may not show symptoms this time, but when it flares up again, it'll show symptoms, or when you get older, it'll show symptoms. We don't know. This thing is something you don't want. You just can't play with your life like that. You know, saying, oh, I'm not going to wear a mask, or pulling someone's mask off. Oh, God. Every time I read one of these news articles about somebody's mask being pulled off and a fight taking place, and then they end up going to jail for it, getting a fine for it, or whatever. It just stuns me that humans are doing this to them. Such an easy thing to do is wear one of these. They're a pain in the ass, but we're going to have to get used to it if we want to get rid of this thing. You know, a lot of people are saying, well, vaccine. Reality, well, if you just research how hard a vaccine is and how effective it is to how much of the population. Right now they're saying 65% of the population may benefit from a vaccine. And if you can get 100, that's if you can get 100% of the population to take it. That's the problem. Trump is putting an extra push on the vaccine. Forget all those tests and everything. Just get it out there. So who's really going to take this vaccine until some numbers come in and it looks like the tests are okay? I certainly am not. Anything that comes out of the Orange Man, if you fall for his nonsense, you deserve what you get. You reopen too soon, you deserve what you get. And all the Orange supporter states and people who think that this is a hoax, enjoy your COVID. You know, if you're using the brain, it would tell you that if you don't know enough about something, you approach it with caution, don't you? Or is that so last year?